Imagine waking up in June, but finding snow outside your window. Cows are dying in the fields. The crops are frozen. The sky is a strange, dirty gray, and nobody understands why. Now imagine this is not just your town, not just your country, but almost the entire world. This really happened, and the cause was a single mountain exploding in Indonesia. The day the earth turned dark, the 1815 eruption of Mount Tambora. Welcome to HistoryMade, the place where powerful stories from the past are brought to life so you can see history and feel it. In today's episode, we travel back to the year 1815, to a quiet island, a sleeping volcano, and one of the most dramatic lessons nature has ever given humanity. This is the story of Mount Tambora and the year the earth almost forgot what summer was. Before the eruption, Mount Tambora was simply there, a tall mountain on the island of Sumbawa in Indonesia. Green forests covered its slopes. Clouds rested gently on its peak. Villages sat comfortably nearby. For generations, people farmed the land. They planted rice. They fished in the sea. They cooked over small fires at night, telling stories under the stars. The mountain was part of their lives, permanent, quiet, safe. But deep beneath that calm surface, the earth was moving. Magma slowly rose from the depths of the planet. Pressure built up inside a hidden chamber of fire. The mountain was not dead, it was only sleeping, and its dream was almost over. Chapter 2. Nature Whispers First. Years before the Great Eruption, small warnings began to appear. The ground shook softly. Not enough to destroy houses, just enough to rattle dishes. Enough to make people glance at each other, then go back to their work. Steam began to escape from cracks in the earth. The air smelled of sulfur, a sharp, burned scent that lingered in the wind. Birds changed their patterns. They left certain trees. They avoided certain slopes. Some animals refused to go near the mountain at all. Nature was whispering. But humans, busy with daily life, did not understand the language. These small signs continued for months, then for years. Far away in Europe, in America, in India, nobody had even heard the name Tambora. But soon, the whole world would feel it. Chapter 3. The Night the Sky Turned to Fire. The date was April 10th, 1815. As evening fell, the people of Sumbawa saw something they had never seen before. Flashes of light at the top of the mountain, red streaks in the darkening sky, thunder that did not sound like thunder. It was deeper, heavier, like the earth itself was breaking. Then it happened. Mount Tambora exploded. The sound was so loud, sailors on ships over 2,000 kilometers away thought it was cannon fire from a distant war. A column of ash and fire shot into the sky, 10, 20, 30 kilometers high, almost touching the edge of space. Rocks the size of houses were thrown into the air. They crashed down on villages. Trees were ripped from the ground. Entire forests burned in a single night. Hot ash poured down the slopes like a river of gray fire. People tried to run, but the darkness swallowed them. The sea responded too. Great waves rose up and crashed against the shore, a tsunami born from a mountain's anger. For 2 days the sun did not rise. People lit lamps at noon. They saw only black sky and falling ash. To those who survived, it felt as if the world had ended. Chapter 4. Ash on the Wind. The local destruction was terrible. Tens of thousands died in the explosion and in the burning clouds of ash. But Tambora's power did not stop at the island. Tiny particles of ash shot high into the atmosphere, higher than birds, higher than clouds, into the upper layers of the sky. There they were carried by powerful winds around the globe. These ash particles were small enough that you could not see them, but together they formed a thin, invisible veil around the earth. This veil did something important. It reflected sunlight back into space. Less sunlight reached the ground. The planet cooled just a little bit. Not enough to freeze the oceans, but enough to confuse the seasons. The explosion of one mountain in one corner of the world was about to touch the lives of people who did not even know it existed. Chapter 5. Strange Summer in a Changing World. The year after the eruption, 1816, would be remembered for a very long time. In Europe, people looked to the sky and felt uneasy. The colors at sunset were strange: deep reds, purple, orange, beautiful, and also disturbing. Then came the real problem. Spring arrived, but warmth did not. In June, snow fell in countries that usually saw green fields and blooming flowers. In some places, frost came in July. People woke up to find ice on the water troughs and crystals on the windows. Crops that had just begun to grow were suddenly killed by surprise cold. Farmers planted again. The plants died again. Families stared at their fields and felt fear creeping into their hearts. What is a year without a harvest? Far away in North America, the story was similar. Lakes froze when they should have been open. Birds fell silent. People burned furniture just to stay warm. In India, the monsoon rains changed. Some regions received too little rain, others too much. Crops failed there too. Food became harder to find. Diseases spread where people were weakened by hunger. All around the world, people asked the same questions. Why is the sun so weak? Why is there frost in summer? Is this a punishment? Is this the end of times? They did not know that the answer was a volcano on a distant island they had never seen. Chapter 6. Hunger, Fear, and Human Courage. The year without a summer brought more than strange weather. It brought hunger. In many villages, grain stores were empty months before the next harvest. Families sold their animals, then their tools, then anything made of metal or wood that could be burned for heat or traded for food. In cities, the price of bread rose higher and higher. Riots broke out. People smashed bakery windows and stole loaves just to feed their children. And yet, even in the middle of fear, something else appeared: human courage. Neighbors shared what little they had. Strangers helped each other survive the winter. Communities learned to plant new crops that could grow in the colder conditions. The earth had changed the rules, but people adapted. Slowly, painfully, but they adapted. Chapter 7. A Stormy Summer in Switzerland. Volcanoes, climate, and the fragile balance of life on Earth. We know that large eruptions can cool the planet. We know that what happens in one part of the world can affect weather thousands of kilometers away. We also know that the Earth is not just a stage on which humans act. It is a living system, complex, powerful, beautiful, and sometimes deeply unpredictable. Mount Tambora taught humanity a hard lesson. We are small. Our cities, our empires, our plans. Nature can change all of them in a single moment. But Tambora also showed something else. It showed that humans can endure, that we can adapt, that we can turn even the darkest years into stories, inventions, and new beginnings. This was the story of the day the earth turned dark, and the year the world almost lost its summer. A volcano erupted. The sky changed. Millions suffered. Stories were born. And history was made. You've been listening to History Made. If this journey into the past helped you see nature and history in a new light, consider staying with us. There are many more moments when the earth quietly shaped our destiny, and together we will bring those stories to life.